As a household rule, my family used to have breakfast at the same table every morning.
온 가족이 식탁에 둘러앉아
It was a pleasant
이야기를
time when our whole
공유하고
family would share stories and encouraging words.
나는 그 시간이 좋았다.
I liked those mornings.
그리고 그
That
규칙은
rule was ever so kind and
내게
gentle to my
한없이
heart.
부드럽고 내게는 너무 당연한
A natural, unchanging world that belonged to me, my world.
나의 세계.
And then it was set on fire. That world began to feel alienating one day.
식탁에 자리했던
Okay, yeah, I guess everyone decided they wanted to be a toaster. The day when my sister sat at the table after her prosthetic transformation was complete. My world had begun to change when my father's head was replaced with an unfamiliar contraption of steel circuits and wires. Look at that. Your brother could just make toast whenever he feels like. It's filthy. My heart couldn't accept the idea of replacing one's flesh and bones with something else, let alone the need for it. Oh no. You didn't, Sinclair. Why do we use prosthetic bodies? I carefully asked for an explanation, and the reply was simple. The human body in its unmodified state is too old-fashioned. It needs to be sustained with food, revitalized with sleep, lest it should fail from fatigue, and injuries take a long time to heal. All this makes the human body incredibly inefficient. He concluded that prosthesis will grow more commonplace as time goes on, and ultimately become a regular part of our daily lives. I thought to myself, why don't I just fall behind the times? Then, if that's what the mainstream will be. Well, I mean, you know, if you kind of fuse your hand into a pile of slag, that's not great. You'd have to get it fixed. That's the other problem, is like, you know, at least my body can just kind of maintenance itself if it gets damaged. With a robot, I gotta find parts, and then you gotta go to, like, you know, Toyota dealership, and then, like, you know, put them on order, and then they're backlogged for a week, and you're like, well, shit, okay. Guess I won't use my hand for the next 7 days. And then you gotta put an insurance claim in, and then you gotta wait for all that to go through, and then you gotta schedule a time. And then, of course, they got the wrong parts in, so you gotta, you know, call, like, 6 dealerships down the line, and they gotta get, you know, this one servo that was manufactured, like, 6 months ago. And it's out of service, right? So now they gotta get that in. And once they get that in, then you gotta go and replace that, and then, you know, it never quite works right, like, anymore after that. And then, of course, you gotta deal with all the dang insurance, you know? Though that wasn't an argument rooted in logic.
Sinclair.
Many times.
시술
Don't worry about it.
사실 마음에 안 들지.
You know, Sinclair, you don't actually want to take a replacement procedure, do you? I nodded without a word. But your parents sure wouldn't like it if you confessed that.
아무것도 할 수 없는 게
Isn't it
원망스럽지.
frustrating that there's nothing you can do about it? I nod again.
내가 도와줄까?
If I helped you out, you could live a free life with no worries about any of that junk.
어떻게?
But how?
그건
That you'll find out next time.
그 대신
In exchange,
내가 너의 원망을 해소해 주듯이
in return for helping
너도
me
나의
with
원망을
helping you with your
이뤄줘야 한다.
problem, you'll help me deal with a grudge of my own too. I'm scheduling a baller event, Sinclair. It's gonna be great. One day, a new transfer student named Demian was placed in the class next to mine. He was surrounded by a crowd every time I saw him. But I got the sensation that he didn't feel attached to anyone around him. To me, he seemed as if he were almost floating in the air. He was aloof like that. Likewise, he didn't seem too interested in me either. That's how it was at first, at least. It happened during a boring engineering class. My eyes kept drifting away from that board, and before I knew it, they were looking out the window instead. Basking in the sunlight, he stroked his hair. Huh? I thought I caught a glimpse of some weird red thing on his forehead. Oh no. Was I mistaken? Maybe it was the blinding sunlight reflecting off his skin. And then, I had the feeling I made eye contact with him. Some students were still chatting outside. As soon as I felt his gaze, I quickly averted my eyes and looked down at my desk. Ever since that strange incident, Damien started to talk to me in a friendly manner. It was at this moment Sinclair had his bisexual awakening. Oddly enough, on the days when Damien approached me, Kromer didn't come to greet me. Oh man, we're getting a love triangle over here.
기회가 있을 때마다
Nevertheless,
내게
whenever
다가와서
she had a chance to,
약속에 대해 잊지
she'd come
않았는지
to make sure that I remembered our
확인을 하곤 했다.
promise.
난 종종 꿈을 꿔, 싱클레어.
I often have this dream, Sinclair. Uh-oh. Oh, perfect. We're gonna make Kromer jelly.
기다란 사다리를 타고
In it,
올라가지.
I climbed an endlessly long ladder. Then everything down below comes into view. The nest, the back streets, the outskirts, all of it.
둥지와
And when I look beneath my feet, all the lights on the city are out in the city, as if the end of all things had come. Wow, that's a dream. Man, this dude just walked in here and was like, hey guys, hey, you know, Sinclair specifically. I mean, look at this, listen to this crazy dream I had. Do you think love can bloom on the battlefield and freedom can be found within the confines of the nest? Compared to here, life is much richer in the outskirts. Like the outskirts? There's something I've been pondering for a long time. That maybe that's where I could find the answer. Sinclair, can you show me your basement? Wow, that was pretty forward, Kromer. Kromer knows they're getting muscled out of the relationship. Like, I gotta make a move. Gotta make my move now. After stealing the key without my parents noticing, I took Kromer to the basement of my estate as I'd promised. From there, she led me to a dirty air vent. Crawling in the unlit vent for a while, a dank, grimy odor and the sounds of small critters scuttling about assaulted my senses. My clothes were stained with filth, my throat was parched, and I was overcome with desire to go back. That's when I noticed that the smell of my nose picked up had just changed from the stench so far.
너도 느껴지지?
Can you feel it? Can you feel the love tonight? Cute Disney love song right here. There's something up ahead. This might have been the last chance I had to turn back. It might have been better to dissuade her with all kinds of sweet placations to leave and come back later. Even if I knew that empty flattery wouldn't work on her. Before I could try, a vile curiosity came over me. I was entertaining a world where villains belonged for the first time. Uh-oh. And for some reason, I gave up turning back. Vent Kromer. Oh, the loathsome sight I had to witness. It was something that I couldn't think to behold twice. Could monstrosity be an apt description for what I saw? It seemed too sentient for that, yet it also seemed decidedly wrong to say that it was even remotely human. And then he precious beamed in the vent. Shuddering in fear, I started to regret stepping into this world. Sinclair, you idiot! Look at yourself. Hoping by some miracle to get another chance right after you've wasted it. Kromer, I've got to go back. On the other hand, the Kromer was enraptured. Vent Kromer. She was mesmerized by the scene, watching intently as though she had made a discovery of a lifetime. Leaving Kromer all enamored to herself, I crawled back towards the exit. That was a mistake. Why is my basement connected to such a horrid place? How did Kromer know this? Why isn't she scared either? I could almost hear Kromer's spine-chilling whistle and the wind blowing from behind. The very next day, Kromer came to school as if nothing had happened. Sinclair, thank you so much more for showing me precious things. Take these as my thanks. She handed 2 mysterious coins to me. Always keep them at your side, got it? Kromer, won't you give it back now? Give back what? The basement key? Idiot. Stupid. Why would I do that? I must have the courage to ask one day. Kromer burst into laughter, as though she didn't expect this from me. I am intimidated. I slowly stepped back. Maniacal, creepy vent laughter. Oh, and here I was wondering what you were struggling so hard to say. Hey, you can have it, Sinclair. We don't need the key anymore. Your grudge will most certainly bear fruit, Sinclair. You did want to get your procedure right. So you ended up giving Kromer the key. How do you know that? How do you know that? Oh, thank you, Sinclair. It was Christmas Eve, and the whole town was filled with jingles and joy. Under the blessing of the holy night, I was planning to confess my sin to my family. I wanted to tell them that I made the foolish mistake of stealing the basement key, and that I'd go back to being a good son, a good little boy.
그 시간 동안 나는 너무도 괴롭고 끔찍했다고.
That the short time I spent away from the right path was agonizing. That I learned how peaceful and fulfilling the world I've been living in truly was.
그러면 가족들은
My family might be surprised at first, but I was sure they'd welcome me back into their paradise.
분명
That was how it should have
그랬을
been.
것이다. 하지만
However,
어?
huh?
원래 같았다면
I was supposed to hear a robot dog greeting me when I stood at the gate,
로봇 강아지의
but my
소리가
home was
들렸어야
covered in
했지만
silence and darkness.
집은 고요한 밤
Ah,
아래 둘러싸여
here it
있을
is.
뿐이었고
Here's the trauma.
뒤이어 내가 마주한 건
When I walked inside, I was
멸망에
confronted with a fallen
뒤집혀버린-
paradise. Oops. Sinclair, run, my dear family sister. Oopsie poopsie. Merry Christmas, Sinclair. Your family is dead. The best Christmas present you could have possibly asked for. Someone smashes my father's head.
은색의
It's a
갑주를
disturbing
입고 있는
individual
괴상한 인물.
wearing rusty silver armor. That does not look like rusty. Oh, this dude in the back. I missed Grobhammer bro back over here. Brohammer. How unsightly of these non-humans to still admire humanity and display false emotion. Let those impure things be, Guido. It's their survival instincts kicking in.
아니,
Or should I say they're scared of shutting down? Oh boy.
기계 파편과 피, 살점들이 공중에 튀었다가
Pieces of metal flesh and blood fly in the air before hitting the floor.
싱클레어.
Sinclair, you're here.
피와 살점이 묻은 망치를
Kromer
든 채로
approaches, carrying a hammer stained with the blood and flesh.
내가
So what should I do
널
with you,
어떻게 해야
Sinclair?
할까, 싱클레어?
나의 다리는 힘이 풀린 지
My legs have long given up.
멋대로 움직이는
My
것만
mouth couldn't move.
같았다.
As if my whole body refused to cooperate.
눈앞에
I saw
크로머
Kromer standing right before me. I couldn't dare look up. Terror kicked in with the realization that she was so close to me, and my eyes shut themselves tight.
아버지와
The thought that the same hammer that crushed my father, mother, and sister would now come for me was unbearable. And then he precious beamed on the floor. But nothing happened. Confused, I carefully opened my eyes and lifted my head.
크로머는
Kromer was watching me, making a perfect smile just like the one she'd made when she first came to my desk and told me her name.
하지만
Well, you are my hero, Sinclair.
그러더니
She then reached into a pocket on my school shirt and takes out a coin.
운전한
It's one of the two she handed me the other day.
앞으로
Now on, you'll doubt everything, be anxious of everything, and live in ever constant terror as your memories of me haunt you.
그러다가 때가 되면
When the time comes,
내가 널
I will call for you.
어이,
Hey,
이 아이를 안전한 곳으로
I'm gonna take this kid to safety. Lay a finger on him and I'll make you regret it.
내가 가만두지 않겠어.
엄습하는 이명과 구둣발 소리.
Amidst the piercing noise, storms of heavy footsteps and disorientation,
나는
I lost consciousness.
그대로 기절했다.
When I came to my senses, I found myself in an alleyway at midday, heated by the sun.
난 그곳에서
I stayed there on the ground, dazed and
멍하니
confused.
누워 있었다. 길가 곳곳에
I could see a haze rise from the
아지랑이가
surface.
피어오르는 것이 보였다.
싱클레어, 네
Sinclair,
세계에
a
금이
crack has been
갔구나.
made in your world. Ah, hello, Demian.
두렵니?
Are you scared, Sinclair? Are you scared? Do you afraid?
그는 내게 말했다.
He spoke to me.
모든 것을
He had the eyes of a person who saw through everything,
그리고 그
and the
모든
attitude
것이
of someone who
예정된
predicted this
수순을
series of
지나지 않는다는
events.
뜻이다.
He didn't even wait for me to reply, like he knew what I was going to say.
언젠가 전부 깨버리지.
One day, you'll break it all together and soar.
나는
And I wish to see you completely bare.
보고 싶어.
In what way?
입 밖으로 꺼내지 못하고
He
있던
responded
나의
as if he
속대답이
already knew the answer I was
어떨
hesitating
것이라는
on.
걸.
Although
그의
his
말은
words seemed to radiate
온기가
warmth.
가득한 듯하며
I felt a certain chill, like biting into the cold insides of a half-cooked turkey.
나는 다시 한번
I couldn't help but fall unconscious again.
정신을
Well, Sinclair, were you able to find an answer in your heart's path? Kromer! Don't give me that look.
아직 때가
It's
되지도
not even
않았는데
it's not even time yet.
널 죽여보고 싶잖아.
Making me want to kill you.
아,
Oh, no, no.
아니야,
I should have stayed. I can't let immediate entertainment distract me from the more important things. Sinclair, the only way to retrieve the golden bow that's begun to resonate is...
알아요.
I know.
황금 가치가
Even if it were for our mission, I'd still tear that bitch to pieces and drink up her remains. Whoa, calm down, Sinclair. Oh man, Jesus. Ooh, oh Sinclair, did you learn to act so tough? It's not get you at all. What a riot. You won't run away this time, will you? There's that whistle. Do I lose stuff immediately? No? Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Millie. How you doing? He'll soon be twerking beam. We winning? Yeah, we're winning. Just stays the hell out of the mirror dungeon. Do I have to go rerun the story over and over and over and over again if I want to get more of the story? Stop growing attacks! God damn it. Why are you staggered? You won your clash. Why are you staggered? What? Take 100% damage from Kromer. Oh no. What the bullshit is this? Ugh, those coins. Rupture, rupture. Leo, please. Leo, your life depends on this. Okay, good boy, Leo. Keep flipping those coins. Don't! Woo, fluid sack! Just deflected the nail right back into her. Faust is the one who grips. Bam. And you're staggered, you loser! Shaka shaka. Oh my god, thank you. What do you mean you're at 1 HP? Gripped, and then he just wiggles out of it. The Senators are fatigued and damaged. Some already dead. No, we didn't lose anybody. As opposed to us, Kromer still stands triumphantly. She reaches for the inside of Sinclair's coat in what seems like a declaration of his fate. You were very bloody, ma'am. Then it's time, Sinclair. I'll be taking the second coin, your last chance. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, Sinclair, you're very messed up, everybody. Why me? Sinclair, do you want to know why I gave you back the basement key when you asked? Listen close. It's not because I made my discovery or baked a copy of it. It's because you were my key. See, I happen to know of a way to take a peek at the futures that might come true. I saw one among them where you and I traveled from nest to nest, slaughtering heretics together all around the city. Damn! I want that ID for Sinclair! Even though you were raised by heretics bearing revolting metal bodies. Part of you still felt disgusted by them. Funny, isn't it? You would stab them in the head with your halberd. Don't you lie to me! While I smash their heads in with a hammer! Stop it! In that world, you look like the freest person in the universe, transcending everything. No! You're lying! Wow, you cleaned the blood off of you. Prestidigitation is a hell of a drug here. Kromer suddenly cackled a wry laugh, and stopped moving. The golden bow! The golden bow on the altar resonated with her cackle and began to... God damn it. Then... it's begun. At last, my final grudge will be fulfilled. You're sounding a little abnormal there. Ew. Oh, no. From the hideous organic growth, bundles of ambiguous appendages stretched outward in countless numbers. As if desire and madness were made manifest. That's gross. That's just nasty. Why would you do that? What the fuck? Come, Sinclair. Rip me up and chew me down. That's... No, don't say it like that. Oh, and it's wriggling. Oh, it's wriggling. Oh, that's gross. She did this to herself. That is a fair difference. If this is the C's victory. Boom, 98 damage. Not too shabby, and a lot of bleed and rupture. And we just broke the other arm. If we can just alternate breaking, wow. Oh, she staggered. Ah, we staggered something. Oh, God. She's down a bunch of power. Ha, 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 you idiot. All of the way, all the time. Oh, whoa! That'll woo. Jesus, 114 damage. Part broken. Excuse me? Don't you cutscene me, you piece of shit. Oh, the fleshy hill exuded potent acid, melting Sinclair's legs. All the other sinners were being dissolved by the caustic secretion too. Ew. Ooh. He trips and hits the ground. No, perhaps I should say he was thrown off his feet. In spite of that, he still crawls towards Kromer. Yes, that's it. It hurts, doesn't it? You're filled with rage, aren't you? Accept it all. Welcome with open arms. Watch me, watch my glorious body closer to the purest form of humanity than ever before. This flesh here, this sheer unmatched strength and purity. Kromer's gonna become the next Oswald, isn't she? Sinclair, look at how human you are. You can become like me too. Oh, you're... Sinclair, you were scared all along, weren't you? Weren't you? You lost your family, and you had to ride a bus with these strangers, forced to do things you didn't want. Hard pass. You knew in your heart that you didn't belong there, right? Didn't you want to run? Didn't you want to quit it all? Am I wrong? I swear Join me, Sinclair. Don't avoid this. Embrace it. Complete my grudge. The arm Sinclair was using to hold his weapon was growing limp by the second. Kill, maim, rend. He nevertheless continues in Kromer's direction. You must accept the pain only when we have transcended suffering itself can we be reborn. Bloat the flesh, spill the blood, adding on the most humane things each second. Oh my god. To the purest world where the impurities plaguing the city of all folks have been filtered out. Mama, Papa, Sis. Ugh. Sinclair vacantly mutters, looking at the faces of his now dead fellow sinners. I couldn't leave him like this. Sinclair, listen to me. I'm embarrassed that it took me so long to take action, but it was better late than never. Act like the manager I am. I know you think a lot. I know there's a lot going on in your head that you can't share with others. Uh-oh. Listen to the ticking. That's how he was. Worried that he might be a burden, he constantly put his mind through doubts and ruminations, most of which he never let on about. He's chewed up many a thought in the form of guilt. My family died because of me. I said stuff I really shouldn't have. It's all your fault, so embrace it. That's the way to become wholly reborn. Follow me and rest in my grip. I don't want any part of your grip. I want none of this grip. Don't listen to her. You have to see, look at her, observe her carefully. Alas, my voice didn't seem to reach him. Sinclair's weapon leaves his hand and lands on the ground. His advance for Kromer has stopped. Yep, looks like this is the end for us. I can feel my body melting into the mound. Ew, God, gross. I knew I'd die trying to play the proper manager sooner or later. But, Sinclair, I have to tell him more. I have to tell him that Kromer's spewing a heap of lies, threats, hypocrisy, and exaggeration. Every nerve in my body is screaming that I shouldn't give up on him. I can feel the burning pain of my melting body. Look closely, Sinclair. Not with your eyes, but with your heart. We're about to power friendship this. I screech at Sinclair. Only then will you see what matters most. Only then will you see what matters most. In that moment, someone quietly appeared.
가장 중요한 것을 볼
Oh,
수
it's
있다면
the heck are you? It's Scarflat. What, Demian? What? And when you can see things that matter most, you don't have to stifle yourself with shallow threats or cheap tricks.
그렇지.
Isn't that right, Sinclair? Oh. He moved with a grace airness as though he floated in the air. The hell is... What? He seemed lighter than anyone else, unbound by anything. Contrary to his impression of freedom from all worldly longings, an oppressive air seemed to accompany every step he took. Is this a fixer? He's got the sign on his head, yeah. And with just a wave of his right arm... Jesus. Oh. Demian?
네가 스스로
You've changed your own fate,
바꿨구나,
Sinclair.
Sinclair.
Right now, you're neither a coward nor a hero, but you've still yet to let go of your fears completely. I've said it before, haven't I? When you fear someone,
누군가에게
that's because you gave them the power to have control over you.
자신을
That's right, and I don't want anyone else to domineer over you, which is why I got rid of that Kromer. The man referred to as Damien then started to walk. He took airy steps as though he were embarking on a light trip. The world is about to head for a new birth, and only a few individuals can get there. Whoa, that's distressing. Sinclair, you're one of them. Oh no. Sinclair fainted before he could answer. Oops. Damien slowly made his way over to me. Oh, hey, buddy. Kromer attempted to become a god, like those which people of the past were said to believe in. Sinclair almost became her stepping stone. In the end, though, one has to break an egg on their own. It's ironic that they resorted to creating false imagery, something they loathe so deeply, don't you think so? What are you talking about? Who are you? A pleasure to meet you, Dante. So you're the adult who will condition Sinclair at the moment. Oh, I wouldn't call me an adult. I'm just literally the healbot. As for who I am, and for what I was talking about, you'll see in due time. Oh, really? When Sinclair takes flight with us with unshakable faith in the power of the heart, right, when he becomes one with beautiful stars, that's also concerning. That is when I'll return. Take good care of Sinclair until then, Dante. You can hear me? I can hear all sorts of chirps and trills. It's only natural that I hear your voice. As always, what matters most is something you can't see or hear. The boy with the blue scarf vanished without a notice. Hey, can you not do that? Can you heal me for this, like a potion? Anything, please. After that, the mounds began to melt away. With them gone, a single golden bowl appears before me, spreading its warm light. Sinclair's world was gradually melting with the hills. I excruciatingly dragged what's left of my upper body across the floor to reach Sinclair. Oh god. He was still breathing. And so was I. I figured I should still be able to turn the clock. Thus, that means I'm still their manager, and I should act like one. Plus, as I learned in my dying moments, I have to strive to become a more sensible manager. With all that, I need to tell him. It might have been your fault, Sinclair. But that's okay, really, it's one small mistake. Anyone can make. Don't beat yourself up so much about it. I pat him on the back with my half-melted right arm. Pat, 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 slap, slap, slap. Sinclair doesn't reply. To be truthful, trying to identify as someone to blame all this on would be a never-ending endeavor. From each of us going and carrying our sins onto the bus, to my loss of head and memory, accompanied by an involuntary appointment as the executive manager. At the root of all this, I might find no one but myself to blame. Staying bound by that fact, though, will only keep us from taking our next steps.
발견했습니다.
Found him. I can hear multiple footsteps approaching our horribly incapacitated team. Hey, it's the LCCB. Oh, thank God. For Vegetables must have figured out we'd get into a mess and called the after team to scoop us off the ground. I bought enough chicken kebabs for all of you to have one. So if anyone didn't get theirs, go and put your detective caps on by yourselves. May I have thine attention, Sir Vegetables? What? I do believe that I had acted with sufficient caution, as you so hath warned.
그러니
Thusly, if I may, wouldst thou allow me to lay claim upon a skewer? It's VeggieTales. I was a good girl. I didn't cause any party wipes this time.
그러던지.
Go right ahead.
그림자를 쫓던 나날들 남은 건 허망한 기억 불길이 나를 태운 것처럼 내 손엔 잿빛 먼지뿐 쉼없이 달려왔던 나를 죄어오던 시간들 이조차 그리